The clothing you wear when you're in the outdoors can have a big impact on your trip. In this video, I'm going to be going through my ultralight layering system that I use when I want to save weight and still be comfortable. So the first item of clothing is my base layer. It's the piece I wear the most often, and it's probably also the most recognizable piece I have, and that's because of the color. So this is the Outdoor Research Active Ice Sun Hoodie in blaze orange. I've had this for a few years now, so it's a little bit stretched and a little bit worn out, but it's one of my favorite pieces of kit. I really, really like it. It's really comfy, doesn't get that hot, and it helps keep the sun off me. So I wear this for pretty much all my hiking and fast packing activities. I'm a big fan of a sun hoodie. The sun here in New Zealand can be very harsh. Having this on means I don't have to worry about applying sunscreen regularly. It's got a UPF rating with ultraviolet protection factor of 50 plus, which is basically as high as a Garmin can go. So I know I'm getting great protection from it. There are a few other small features on here that I really like. They might seem minor, but they do make a big difference for me. That's thumb loops. So I love thumb loops because it means I can tuck it up over my hand, and especially if I'm using hiking poles, helps to protect my hand a bit more from the sun. With the hood, the collar actually comes quite up high around my neck, and that just helps provide more sun protection around there. But otherwise, apart from those features, it's just a long sleeve polyester hooded shirt. It does have a little bit of spandex in there to give it a little bit of stretch, which is really nice when I want to move quickly in it. So yeah, that's my first item of clothing, my sun hoodie. Big fan of this. I used a different sun hoodie before this. I hiked to the South Island of Aotearoa in it, and I've basically fallen in love with sun hoodies ever since. I really, really love them, and they work really well for me. The next item of clothing that I'd normally throw over the top of my sun hoodie is this Polartec Alpha Fleece. This is from Macpac. So Macpac's a New Zealand company. They sell in Australia and New Zealand. I don't know how common they are in other parts of the world, but this uses Polartec's Alpha fabric, and it's basically just another long sleeve with a hood. If you're not familiar with the Polartec Alpha fabric, I would definitely go and have a Google and have a look at it. It's a really clever design and works really well as an active layer. It's basically lots of this tiny fluffy fabric, and you can kind of see through it a little bit. This means that it's quite breathable, but it also provides some insulation. The fluffiness of the fabric helps to create pockets of air and trap warm air in there, but the loose weave of it helps to dump heat and breathe well. So if the temperatures have dropped and I'm not warm enough hiking in my sun hoodie, I can throw this over top and it's going to provide some warmth, but also still breathe well. Now this is the women's version of this hoodie. I mostly went with the women's version because the men's has a chest pocket on it. I don't really need that, and it just added a bit of weight. And this is my ultralight clothing system, so trimming off as much weight as possible. The only other feature this fleece has is these little elastic thumb loops. So these are handy because I can throw them over my thumb, and they just help keep the fleece a little bit further up my arm and stop it slipping down. So not only does this work really well as an active insulating layer, if I pair this with my next item of clothing, my rain jacket, I can layer those two together, and it's going to help create quite a warm layering system. This works quite well because the Polartec Alpha helps to trap the heat and create those little warm pockets of air. And then the rain jacket over top means that it's not going to breathe as well, so the air can't escape. So it basically helps to trap all that hot air in there and keep you nice and warm. So my rain jacket of choice is the North Face Futurelight Flight Light Riser. Something like that. Honestly, it's a bit of a mouthful, and I always end up getting the words mixed up. But the rain jacket's from North Face, and it uses their Futurelight membrane, which is an air-permeable, super breathable, waterproof membrane. It is a 3-layer jacket. We've got quite a thin polyester face fabric, and then the waterproof membrane, as well as that internal liner as well. This inner lining helps to protect the jacket from things like sweat and dirt, and it feels a little bit nicer next to my skin. It's not as clammy feeling. So this jacket is pretty light. There are lighter jackets out there, but I do really like the combination of breathability, durability, and lightweight that this jacket provides. So to save weight, this jacket does lack a few features. You don't get any pockets on it. No hand pockets, no chest pocket, no pockets anywhere. It's got the one main waterproof zip down the middle. There is a cinch cord for the hood, so I can cinch that around my head, stop it blowing off. And there is a little bit of a peak on the hood as well. The cuffs are just elasticated. There's no Velcro there. And they do overhang slightly, which is quite nice. There's no draw cord on the bottom, it's just slightly elasticated. So it's a pretty minimal rain jacket, and some people might not like that it doesn't have many pockets. But personally, for me, for when I use it in my fast packing setup, I've got all the pockets I need on the front of my vest anyway. So don't really miss it on this jacket. So that's all the layers that I carry for the top half of my layering system. It might not seem like much, but I pretty much only use this for 2 to 3 season hiking. I'm not taking it into winter, and the whole idea of this system is that I want to be moving quickly. So if I'm constantly moving, I don't need tons of layers because I'm generating heat. And then when I get to camp, I throw all the layers on, the rain jacket goes over top, which helps to trap all that heat in. And then if I'm cold, I jump in my sleeping bag. Alrighty, so moving down to what I wear on my legs. The shorts I wear are a 5-inch running short from Nike. They've got a stretchy brief liner in there, so I don't wear any underwear with them, and I find these really comfy. They've got a drawstring on the front and 2 front pockets, and they do also have this back pocket with a little button snap on it, but I don't actually use that often. They're nice and lightweight and super comfy for me. The one downside I do have to say about them is that with that internal liner, they can take a little bit longer to dry out. That liner sort of holds on to the water and it doesn't really dry as quick as some other pairs of shorts. But it's never really been a problem for me, and I still find them really comfy to wear when they're wet. So there's one thing I'll say, I don't bring any rain pants for this kind of system. I'm not the biggest fan of rain pants in general, and I don't really find that my legs get that cold that easily. If it's raining, I'm normally just in a pair of shorts hiking. So in saying that, I have made a recent upgrade to my ultralight clothing system. And that is a pair of nylon wind pants. So I actually got these off Amazon. I think they're listed as a pair of dance pants for dancers to use to warm up in. But for me, I'm using them for hiking. So before I bought these, I used to carry a pair of merino leggings or long johns for my bottom layer, and I would just put those on at camp. But they were a bit heavy, and it was a pain having to take off my shorts to then put the leggings on, then put the shorts back on. The great thing about these is I can just slip them over top. They help to trap some of that heat inside and block out some of that wind. So I've used them a couple of times on a couple of trips, and I'm really enjoying them so far. They pack down to absolutely nothing, and they weigh barely anything at all. They don't really have any features on them. They've just got an elasticated waist and elasticated cuffs around the feet. There's no pockets or anything, which is great because I don't need any features for these. They just disappear inside my pack, and if I want a bit more warmth or a little bit more protection from the elements, I can throw these on nice and easy. So I'm really stoked to have these in my kit. Looking after your feet is a really crucial part of hiking, especially when you're trying to do big distances and move quickly. So for my socks, I wear a pair of Injinji toe sock liners. So these have saved my life so many times. I love a liner sock because it helps to reduce friction within the shoe, which helps to reduce blisters. And the toe socks also means that each of my toes get their own little sock, so I don't get any blisters there. These liners are the Cool Max version and the Crew sock. I do also use the merino ones as well. Sort of just change between them. I haven't really found there's too much difference, or like I don't really have any preference between the two types. So yeah, Injinji toe sock liners. I am a huge fan of these. Absolutely love them. Over top of those, I normally just put some sort of light cushion mini cut sock. These ones specifically are from Innovate, but I've used lots of other different types of socks. As long as they're a light cushion, so they're not super thick or padded, and they're a mini cut, so they're not the Crew and they're not the Micro. Yeah, those are my socks. It works really well for me, especially in trail runners. Rare is it that I get any blisters. When I'm at camp, one of my favorite things to do is change my socks. So I always carry a dry pair specifically to use at camp. It's normally some sort of medium cushion Crew sock. This one's merino specifically from Icebreaker, but nice and comfy. Throw those on. They help to keep my feet warm, and it's nice to put on a comfy, dry pair of socks at the end of the day. Any adventure I go on, you'll pretty much see me wearing a hat. I've really fallen in love with the Outdoor Research Swift Cap. This thing is amazing. I didn't really think a hat could be so good, but put this on and I barely even know I've got it on my head. It's super light, breathable, and helps to keep the sun off my face. If it's really hot, I like to dunk it in the water, stick it on my head, and it helps to cool me down a bit. So yeah, this is the Outdoor Research Swift Cap. Can't say enough good things about it. I'm a big fan of it. When I'm out and about, I also carry a buff or some sort of neck gaiter. This one's not specifically from Buff. This one's from Picture, but they all do a great job, and they're a really versatile piece of kit. I love having one in my pack. If the weather's bad or I'm a bit cold, it's nice to throw on around my neck or over my head. So those are all the clothes that I wear and carry when I want to move fast and light in the mountains. Like I said earlier, this clothing system isn't designed for sitting around camp chilling out. It's designed to move fast and light and efficiently. I've used this layering system in lots of different conditions and lots of different environments, and I know it works well for me. Like whenever you're trialing new gear or new clothing for the outdoors, it can be good to take it out on some shorter trips or places where you feel familiar or are able to bail out easily. It can even be a good idea to bring some sort of backup or extra layer when you're trying out new systems. I'd love to hear what you think of my layering system and whether you have any pointers or tips or tricks that I or someone else might find useful. If you think I'm being stupid and sacrificing too much comfort, I'd love to hear that too. Let me know down below. If you want to see the rest of my ultralight setup that I use when I want to move quickly in the mountains, you can check that video up here. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.